Hey everybody, welcome to another WIP Wednesday. We're starting this stream with our mic on this time.
I know,
So,
right?
I'm Liz Ferry and
I'm
you
Joey.
are Joey.
Yes, I am.
So, and I did mute the stream this time. I have not posted the stream link yet, so I'm going to do that real quick while we say that this is the last WIP Wednesday of the month, which this month we've been trying out doing a live stream every Wednesday for WIP Wednesday.
Yeah, if you've been following us for a while, we used to do it every other Wednesday, but since we had to take a little hiatus from us moving into our new apartment,
right,
and for also the what was it, National Crocheting?
Yeah, and
month?
I thought that maybe it would be nice to try doing that for National Knitting and Crocheting Month, mostly just to try to get a lot of my like WIPs like moving along, I guess, that I haven't worked on for a while.
Totally.
But oh, I forgot to change the thumbnail of the stream. Oh well, that's okay.
It's a beautiful button.
You know what? I don't even know if I changed the title of the stream.
Oh no.
You guys, you're probably expecting something else, but that's not what's happening. I'm gonna change the title of the stream real quick. Alright, so we're on 20. And
we have made it to 20, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, I know, huh? This is the 20th WIP Wednesday.
It's kind of surprising how
cool.
fast they start to stack up.
That's true, especially because we've been doing it every week.
Right.
What are we showing this week? We're gonna put...
I know, spoilers. Oh, you guys get to...
Well, I mean, it would have been if you had seen the title, but I just forgot to update it. But I'm calling it Doll Face. So, yeah. Because we're going to show a couple of doll faces.
It could be anything.
Okay. So, all of our changes are saved. Cool. So now the title of the stream is accurate. It was the title of the stream for last week, which was the Yoshi. But I haven't actually done any work on that because I've been working on a bunch of doll faces and other things.
Right.
So I'm just gonna post the stream link real quick. But yeah, so this is the last Wednesday of our month of more videos, I guess. Yeah. So we're actually going to take a week off next week after this.
Right, give ourselves a little break from trying to do, or from the first time of doing this, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Every week.
Exactly. However, after we take 1 week off next week, we're going to try to continue doing WIP Wednesdays every week, and as long as I have like enough things that I feel like I can show you guys, then maybe we'll take another week off like occasionally. But I'll like let you guys know the week before we take a week off in the previous stream and all that stuff. So yeah, let me just type this real quick because I can't talk while I'm typing. All right, we're gonna go ahead and post that to Facebook. I'm not like posting this on my own page, am I? No. Okay, just making sure.
Right.
I have almost done that in the past, but hopefully I won't do that in the future. But okay. So with that being said, let me get rid of this Facebook tab.
Yeah, and thanks if you're with us or joining on YouTube.
Yeah, and feel free to engage in the chat.
Or you're all on YouTube, but joining in the archives.
Yeah, in the future, when this video is no longer live.
When we're speaking from the past.
Yeah, and I guess if we're going to continue doing it every week, I probably am going to just continue to let them go live after.
And not edit them down or do highlights.
It's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, I've been kind of wanting to stop doing that for a while just because of how much work it is. Right. And I feel like probably people, like, would prefer to be able to see, like, the chat replay and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I think I am going to maybe start doing the full streams public now that we're doing it every week.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah. Although I would like to start doing other things that are like Patreon exclusive live streams, so maybe we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks after we've like chatted amongst ourselves about it.
Once we've figured this out a bit.
Okay, so the first WIP that I want to show you guys, here, pull it up just so that I can see what even is in here. Let's go with these horses, because I have one that's in progress, and let me just show you guys the finished versions of them before. The one that's in progress is all the way at the bottom of the stack, as usual. Well, yeah, there it is. Does it have a piece of... Okay, it doesn't. Yeah, no, I did finish that part. Okay, Anyway, yeah, see, this is why you guys need to see the full stream and not have the highlights, so that you can hear me mumbling.
Right. See our confusion while we find everything.
Okay, so let me scroll back down here. When I had to edit the title of the stream, I scrolled down. Okay, there we go. So, if you guys have been following the channel, you might have seen the horse tutorial that finally came out on public last week on Friday. Part 2 is coming out this week on Friday, and in that I'm going to show you how to start the centaur doll instead of just working on the horse doll. Right. So part 1 is basically getting the horse to the point where both of the dolls are at the same like point, and then everything else in the tutorial is basically the same essentially. So in part 2 I'm going to do like the beginnings of both the horse body from the neck down and the centaur body from the waist down. So that's going to be coming out on Friday, and the centaur doll pattern will come out on that day. So because of that, I've been working on this doll. I've kind of been putting it off a little bit just because I've been editing the tutorial so much. But this is another centaur doll, as you can probably tell. But this is going to be the one that's basically the thumbnail for the actual pattern on Ravelry.
It's like the final.
Yeah,
after
exactly.
all the prototypes.
Well, yeah, exactly. The other ones I kind of just was making like with just the colors that I had on hand. But when I made the patterns initially, the way that I wrote it in the pattern, I made it so that I was basically using the same colors for the horse doll as I'm using for the centaur doll. So what's written in the pattern is these colors, and I just hadn't gotten around to making the centaur doll in those colors yet. So I'm doing that for the pattern. Let me switch to this camera so that you guys can see a closer view of that. And I have her arms kind of tied on as usual.
Just barely hanging on.
But yeah, you can kind of see where the horse body joins the human upper body. And the upper body that I used in this doll is pretty much the exact same upper body from my full body realistic doll pattern. So, if you want to, like, I guess, start working on the project before the actual video comes out, you could check out the upper body dolls tutorial that I have. And I guess the only difference with this one is that I only worked up, like, 1 row of increase after the waist happens. So, like, in the full doll, it like will continue to increase after the waist to make like the hips of the human doll, but I just stopped after the first row and just started making horse after that. Right. So like if you can work it all the way down to the waist and then just kind of stop there, and then you can like start the horse from that point. But yeah, that pattern will be out on Friday, hopefully. I'll get this whole horse finished in time to take good pictures of it. But whether or not I do, I guess I'll just have to change the pattern at the last second and use this one. So I might just have to like change which colors it says to use in the pattern, kind of. Right. If I have to use the photos for this doll. But I would rather not do that, just because it would be just more extra random stuff to do. More work. And I have been meaning to make this one for a while, so I just might as well. Yeah. I guess for the photos of the pattern, I should make it with, like, black hair like I did for this horse. But I kind of don't want to do that. I don't know. I kind of don't want to do that, but I guess I have to.
Yeah. What kind of color hair do you think?
I don't know. I guess I think it would be really cool to, like, just do, like, a pure white horse, too, just because I haven't done that before. Right. I've done a lot of horses that have these, like, gray hooves, I guess, and I'm just kind of, like, tired of them. So it would be nice to do something else. The other thing that I kind of want to do is like some more like unicorns and stuff, because I did start making unicorns when I first started making this pattern. I have a couple of unicorn whips that are just in the studio somewhere that we need to find and unearth
somewhere deep in the...
Yeah, we really need to do some more work on that studio.
Deep in whip limbo.
Yeah, but But yeah, like I would really like to make some unicorns with all of the updated techniques that I have now,
Right, yeah.
because like this horse body just looks like so much better than it originally did, and the way that the unicorn whips that I currently have look, they just are the old version of the pattern. So I really wish that I could just update all of my unicorns so that they look nice, basically.
I know, and I love the stop motion you were able to,
yeah,
to pull off with
I'm not sure
tail.
if you guys have seen the actual tutorial, but I did do a lot more stop motion animation in that tutorial than I usually do, and I think it came out pretty good.
Yeah,
but
no, you've been doing good.
yeah, oh, and the other thing that I would like to try with a unicorn is this style of hair that I've been doing, because this is a completely new style of doing hair. When I was first doing my unicorns, I was making the hair out of thread, which is really unwieldy. It's just hard to use,
right,
and hard to style.
A little too slippery to work
But yeah,
with.
the yarn hair is a lot better. So and I like the way that the gradients, or that the hair kind of gradients together. I really love the way that the black and the charcoal yarn kind of fade into each other with this hair. It has like some pretty clear like highlights of the charcoal, but at the ends where they kind of like blend together, I really love that look. And I think that would be really cool to do with a rainbow hair unicorn or something like that.
No, yeah, especially with the technique that you have now, it would look super cool.
Yeah, I would love to see what the gradient would look like.
Hair.
And also that that amethyst that I made that you guys can see in previous episodes of this WIP Wednesday series, the amethyst doll that I made with the really trippy like silvery hair with the purple highlights, I think that silver would be really cool to try to do on a unicorn.
Right.
Like I there's a lot of possibilities for things that I can do.
You gotta
with
revisit
this.
the robot unicorn.
Right, I know, right? That would also be pretty cool. I have some really cool metallic yarns that I was able to snag before they disappeared from stores. So that would be kind of cool to try to do with some of the metallics that I have. And another thing that I would like to do, this technique I've been doing for quite a while. It's like what I did in my randomly long ago tutorial for my Olaf doll, but for the hands of the Olaf, how I made those, it would be trippy to use that same technique to make like antlers and try making like a deer.
Oh, that would be cool.
Or something. Because basically antlers looks the same as like snowman twig hands. So like if I use the same technique and just make like an antler shape.
Come out with a Rudolph for Christmas.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot of possibilities that I can do with this, and it would just be a matter of like sewing the ears on in a different spot essentially, and then just doing color changes to make it look more like a deer than a horse. And really I could do a lot with
a moose.
And
right, there's completely different antler styles that you could potentially do.
Well, I mean, aside from even it being a horse, like even just like the leg and body shape, like now that I have this technique down, I kind of can do any four-legged creature just by modifying things about this pattern. Like what I'm really excited to try is like changing like the foot style into like different things other than just plain hooves.
Right.
Because hooves are like super easy, but I mean, what if I can figure out a way to like make it branch out into like toes and stuff like that? Then it could be like any number of types of thing. Like it's a really versatile
with how, like,
technique.
Sleek and slender horses are, it'd be trippy if you did something like a rhino or a hippopotamus.
I know, like I could do a lot with this type of technique.
That had a lot bulkier body type, but still had armature inside of it.
Yeah, that's something that I really like about this technique too, because it's pretty much fully customizable. Like I could probably make it in any size or shape that I wanted it to be in. Which is kind of something that I just like to do with my patterns in general.
Make an elephant with an articulated trunk.
I know, I would love to do that. I haven't made like anything like that yet, but I feel like an elephant would be kind of easy because it would just be a matter of like making the exact same thing, but instead of putting a nose here, I would just put like an armhole in the middle of its face and then give it a trunk, right? That's exactly what it would essentially be. It would be the same process.
You give it armatured ears.
Oh, that would be cute. Right. Oh, I would love to do that.
Right.
Oh.
Hey, man. Dumbo's coming out.
I know, right? I forgot about that. So, next thing. This is just a super random small thing, so I think I'll go through this one real quick. Oh.
She's tied up. Oh, wait. There we go.
Oh, no. Wait. No, she's still tied up.
Okay,
You know, it's weird. It was between her cheek and her sweater. What an odd place to get tied up. Okay, I
She's
just
got some
pulled
cheeks.
out the stitch, I think. Yes, I did, but that's
Yeah.
okay. It's just one stitch. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine.
It's fine.
Okay, so if you guys have been following for a while, you may have seen some of my Steven Universe dolls. I know I really should finish those dolls, but I had to make another one because I've been I had to start another one because I've been meaning to start this one for ages, and I've been working on this yarn. I've been working with this yarn because I was actually using it to make that wig, which I forgot to grab with the whips. It's right behind you. Could you grab that? I'll just show you the wig real quick just because it's right there and Joey's grabbing it. Did you drop something?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I saw something drop. Maybe just the pony like dropped lower. Anyway, so I was making this wig. It's a bit of a mess right now because
No, you dropped something.
yeah, no, I know. I kind of did on purpose. But anyway, but yeah, I was making this wig and I used a lot of that color using this wig, and what I got it for initially was this thing, and I just haven't gotten around to making it. So I wanted to like start before I like used up all of that yarn doing things like wigs. Just because I really like making wigs and I worry that I'm gonna use up all my good yarns to make towards making wigs.
Right.
So let me show you close up because it is a very small piece. So here's what I've got so far. This is going to be Greg, which you might be able to tell because of the color.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all I've got so far is the face and the beginnings of the beard and the beginnings of the not sunburned portion of his body. I just started that part. So there's only one row of it, but theoretically the rest of his torso is going to be really the rest of his torso and his body up until what, like his feet maybe. I'm not really sure. I have to look at the reference photos more.
Some more pictures again.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at that many reference photos.
Excuse to watch some more Steven Universe.
Well, yeah, that's true. We could also do that. But yeah, I was looking at some reference photos for doing this, but really I've only just gotten as far as the head, so I just haven't really looked that closely at other parts of the body yet. But I'm really excited to try using the same techniques that I used for my my like muscular doll that I made a while back, but like making it more like of a fatter body type rather than just like a beefy like muscular bodybuilder type looking dude. But yeah, I haven't really worked that much on like male doll body types yet.
Right.
I've really only just made a couple of male dolls and like really like maybe one or two body types. Yeah. So like, and they're both like just skinny they're both skinny and muscular.
Yeah,
so
they're kind of similar. So it's not really.
So I would like to do something completely different, and Greg would be a really cool like way to explore that type of body shape. That, and also I just like love Steven Universe.
Yeah, he's an excellent character.
Yeah, and I love Greg. Yeah, I love Greg. He's like one of my favorite characters. And I've been meaning to make him forever. I just haven't really gotten around to it. And also I want to do I'll show you guys a thing in a minute, but I want to make freaking Bismuth really, really badly. And they like almost have like sort of similar builds, not really, she's a lot slimmer than him, but they have like the broad shoulders thing going on. Right. So like I just want to make some more like larger body shape like characters, I guess, like characters that aren't like just super skinny and like curvy like a lot of the dolls that I have been making.
Right, you have to do Jasper still too.
I know. I've been wanting to do Jasper for a long time. It's just like the color changes are probably like the most intimidating thing, I guess, because Jasper has a very particular like color scheme.
And I think that's again one of those things where we've had a hard time finding the gem.
Yeah, big time. That's the other reason that I haven't done Bismuth yet, really, because like that's gonna be freaking impossible.
That's
I'm gonna have to
try to go out and get an actual piece of Bismuth?
I know. I almost think that would be the easiest thing to do to get something that's that shape, and it's not like if there's a shortage of places that sell rocks around here.
That would look pretty sick.
It would. Like an actual. The only problem with that is that like I feel like we would have to find the perfect piece of bismuth in order for it to like
that's like
to work. That's just
generally how they form. So it would be hard to find.
It would be hard to find the
right
perfect
bismuth
piece
that mirrored what bismuth actually looks like.
I have a little tiny little like piece of an idea of a way that I could maybe make something that looks kind of like a bismuth.
And that would be sick if you could do it in like maybe not micro crochet, but like in a smaller.
I don't want to crochet it because I just don't think the texture is right.
No, that's fair.
But I have an idea of something that I can use to make a bismuth, but I'm not sure if it'll work, so I'm just going to keep that under wraps until I figure it out.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if I've told you about this idea yet, but maybe I have. I don't remember.
I'm not even on a secret.
Maybe you do. I literally just don't remember. Okay, yeah, and let me show you this wig because I did a little bit more work on it. I just showed it to you here, and you can't see anything here because it's too glorious.
Just a big ball of fluff.
It's just practically...
It's a glorious ball of fluff.
It's practically like glowing in this lighting because it's so bright out here.
Right? We plan on getting a lantern to diffuse that light a little bit.
Yeah. So here's the rest of the work that I've been doing on this wig. Let me move Greg out of here. But yeah, you can see that some of the colors of this wig are Greg. See? They're the same color. So that's the other reason why I really wanted to just get a move on making my Greg. Because he needs to be made. But I used all of the yarn that I need to use for this wig already. So he's not in danger. He's fine. So, you can see all of the different stages kind of making the wig here, which is kind of interesting. Like here I have a bunch of separated hair that has not had anything done to it yet, so this is all just yarn.
It's fresh yarn.
As you can tell.
Off the skein.
And then here is the unraveled yarn. Some of it is not unraveled yet, like these. These are actually a little harder to unravel, so I have not unraveled them yet.
It's a process.
Well, these, it's funny actually, these, this is the yarn that I did use to make Greg. It's from a particular brand called Big Twist, and I suppose they're called that because it is a big twist. But the thing about this yarn is most yarns, like this one, for instance, has 4 little strands of it. If you twist it apart, it has like 4 little strands that make up it's the full piece of yarn.
Right.
But this one, you unravel it and see it has those 4 pieces of yarn here. Here's the 4, but each one of those 4 is actually 2. You can kind of see they're all twisted up together. So these take like double the time to unravel because you have to unravel them twice, basically.
Twice as many.
So yeah, it makes a really nice thick texture of fabric, and that's really nice for making amigurumi because there's way less gaps.
Probably get a lot of volume.
Yeah, you can totally see like kind of like a big difference between like how fat the stitches are here where the coral, the peachy yarn is, and then here where the brown is. There's a lot more like gaps that you can kind of see through, where you can kind of actually see some of the peach yarn that's running through behind. Here, like all these little dots, you can kind of see these are this yarn that I've strung through the behind these stitches, just to kind of hide those tails. But they don't really hide perfectly behind this yarn because it's not as thick as this yarn. And this one as well is a little bit thinner, and you can kind of just see how much smaller the stitches are compared to these stitches here. But then the next phase is this phase, which is all the brushed out
once
fluff.
Everything's been untwisted.
And you can also find this technique, in case you're curious, in my wig series. So that if you want to make your own wigs, you can see how I do this in more detail. And this isn't like the final step. This is just the before styling and brushing and all of that.
Yeah.
So eventually this will look like more like real hair. I wish I had another wig that I could show you guys, but I don't have one right now.
Right, that's...
Yeah, I don't have any I don't have any finished wigs. Yeah, those I think I did straighten those. So they're kind of sort of a different texture.
Remotely so.
Oh, well, she's got straightened out wefts. But yeah, see like the difference in texture here, where this is a lot more straight and kind of more shiny, and this is a lot more like fluffy and a little more like, I guess, like more diffused color, I guess. It's not as like saturated looking or as shiny.
Right.
Certain parts are shiny just because that's the type of yarn that it is, like these little yellow highlights. But it really does depend a lot on the type of yarn that you use too. It's best to use a shiny yarn, which most soft yarns tend to be shinier. Don't know why that is, but it does tend to be the case for some reason. Okay. And with that wig, I'm going to that wig is going to belong to this doll here. You might have seen her before if you've been watching these, but this is my bunny doll. I put her in this skirt and hoodie though, just because I've been kind of playing around with different ways to style her. So let me show you guys that closer up. But
Yeah,
eventually
she does look
she'll
super cute in that.
eventually she'll have that wig. I'm gonna give it like a cute like straight across bangs cut so that I can cover up some of her huge forehead. And then I think I'm just gonna have it be like kind of like a bob maybe of like little like light curls, I guess. That's kind of what I'm shooting for, so that it's basically not too big of a haircut, so that it doesn't kind of overpower and make her head too top heavy.
Right, seriously.
And that's the other thing, like with the hoodie too, because like ideally I would like for her to be able to wear the hoodie, but honestly, if her wig is too big, I don't think I can really like logically get her into it. So I might, I might like switch the hoodie out for a cardigan, so that she doesn't have to have like a hood to deal with, and like. But I just really like this pink hoodie on her. I just think it looks really cute with like her little pink nose and stuff. And underneath, we still have her in her corset. So, like.
Oh my.
I know, right? But yeah, the corset and the fishnets and garters. I still haven't really done the garters yet, so that's coming soon. And her heels, too. I wasn't really satisfied with the heels that I was making for her, so I think I am going to maybe scrap them and start over. But I kind of think I like this look for her, like with this, like, it's almost like a almost grunge aesthetic, I guess, kind of a little bit. Like, I kind of like her with this dark purple skirt and hoodie. I'm not sure what shirt to give her, or if I should literally just let her wear her corset as a shirt. Maybe. I don't know. It's cute.
Yeah.
But I do need to give her some garters. And I was also thinking of maybe putting like a lace edging on the bottom of this skirt or something, just to give it more like, I guess almost more of like an emo vibe or something like that, kind of, you know what I mean? Or like a goth, an emo, like a baby goth vibe or something.
And it might be a good transition down to the nets.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And then it might like cover up the top of them a little bit, because this skirt is just a tiny bit short for her legs. I did make her legs a little longer than most of my dolls, and all of this clothes, except for the corset and the fishnets, obviously. But this hoodie and this skirt I made before I made this doll, so this was just kind of in my pile of extra clothes that I just have lying around. But I do like her in it, so I think I will keep her in it. I really like this skirt because a lot of the skirts that I have are just like circle skirts, but this one has like a little bit of a narrow waistband that I really like on her. I think it like helps her shape a lot. Like I think it like, I really like how it like kind of gives her like a hip hugging thing, and then it like floofs out like a little flower. I really like how that looks. And I do like the dark purple because it's kind of like darkening her color palette, which I like because she does have a lot of like bright pastel kind of shades to her.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of making me change my mind about what kind of shoes I want to give her just a little bit, which makes me glad that I didn't make her heels yet. And that's always something that happens too. So, on that note, let's talk about this other one, whom I have been working on. Yeah, so, that was my bunny girl, and this is going to be my cat girl. You can see her kitty tail here, which is still a robot tail. But I did finish her other foot, so now she has 2 feet that match and an arm. She still has 1 robot arm left that needs to be completed. But I'm getting pretty excited about it. Like, I almost tried to like make her tail real quick just before this started, but I was like, I don't have time for this, so I did not do that. But yeah, I'm just super excited. Like, I can't wait for her to be completely finished so that I can like floof her out and give her like a cute face like I did for the bunny girl. So let me show you her a little bit closer up. It's kind of similar like to what I did with Greg to make his facial hair. I just did some color changes in the middle of her face. and I'm not positive on how I'm gonna do her ears yet. Like, I do have a tutorial on cat ears on my channel, but those are like full-size costume cat ears for like a person. So I don't know if that technique would transfer over, like if it would look right in this scale. Right. So I do want to try. I'll try it out and see if it works, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to be like surprised or anything, and I'll just have to figure out a different way to make it work. But yeah, I really like how the body is shaping up. I'm still not positive on how to style her. Like, I was thinking about using that pink hoodie for her, but I just liked it so much on the bunny girl that I think I'm going to give the bunny girl the hoodie instead. But I did find this other hoodie that I made a while back.
Yeah, like a teal one.
Yeah, and so I was thinking...
got a zipper on it.
Yeah, so I was thinking of giving the teal one to the cat girl too. And I really love this hoodie. Like, I wish that I could have this hoodie in real life. Right. Like, I really love the color scheme and just the style of it, I guess. I wish that I could have this hoodie, but it's too small for me, unfortunately.
Alas, it's too much work to make a full-size
Yeah,
one.
that too. I don't know if I would want to put myself through that. I hate making large-scale items. It takes me forever. But side note, if you guys want to make this hoodie, there is a tutorial and a pattern for this on my channel and in my Ravelry store. So, and also it's pretty easy to customize, and I'm pretty sure it fits the Barbie dolls. I think I tried this on them and it fits them. Probably. It's a little oversized, but it's easy to customize.
Yeah, they'd be swimming in it a little bit.
A little bit, but you know, it depends on the style that you're going for too. Yeah, because like it is like a cute oversized hoodie. But yeah, if you want to try it out, you can go ahead and check out that tutorial. You know what's crazy? Once somebody sent me a message about this hoodie that they were making it for like their pet squirrel, and they were like asking for clarification on like sizing and like making a custom size because they were trying to fit it to their squirrel. And I was like, how did that go?
Yeah, so if somehow you're seeing this, please, we'd love to know.
Update me. Send me pictures of your squirrel.
Like in a sweater. That would be adorable.
Because that was a cute image in my head, and I'm like, how do you say that to someone without sending them a picture of your squirrel in a cute hoodie? But I mean, you know.
I know, right? But
I don't know if they ever managed to finish it or get it on their squirrel.
Was it just high hopes, or were they actually like...
I know, right? It kind of almost makes me want to make a squirrel girl in this same style.
Oh, that would
and
be
like,
cute.
Yeah, I know, right? That would be. It just makes me think of like when I was a kid. I was like really into like the Redwall series by Brian Jakes. I don't know if any of you guys have like seen or heard of this series, but it's like a medieval timesy aesthetic, like anthropomorphic mouse people type thing. Right. So like kind of like some of the Disney movies where like the main characters are all like random like mice in little tiny like jackets and stuff.
Yeah. Almost
except it takes place in like medieval times type
and stuff like that.
Yeah, or those types of.
But there's movies, also other animals thrown in like.
I was kind of thinking like the rescuers and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot. That's a lot better.
Well, it's kind of the same.
It is.
But yeah, it's more like medieval times type of aesthetic. And I guess I would make like clay minifigures of like squirrels and rabbits and stuff wearing medieval clothing. But it's kind of sort of like what I'm doing now.
Right.
Except now I'm using yarn.
It'd be cool to make.
I know. I would really like to do that eventually.
Because that is a series that you kind of grew up with.
Yeah, it's just I guess I'm just not as like confident with making armor and stuff yet. Like I would like to start getting into that, but I would like to maybe just figure out what techniques I would like to use for that before I actually get into it. Yeah, totally. So if you guys have seen the past episodes of these, you might have seen this doll before what I did to her today.
I was just brandishing her around.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were. But a lot of my actually, let me switch back here for a minute. A lot of my dolls that I've made so far have a really simple aesthetic, like where they're basically just like a circle with 2 dots for eyes. But I've recently been working a lot more on trying to make more detailed dolls. And
Right.
I feel like a lot of the reason why they were so minimalistic in the beginning was because I just wasn't really very confident with doing faces. And I had
Right.
tried doing faces before, but I just really didn't like what I had come up with, and I wasn't confident very much with working with
Well,
faces.
and then that's one of those things where it's like kind of a big risk that you're taking after you've
Oh, yeah.
put all this time
Oh,
and
yeah.
effort into this doll that you're making, and then you're starting to put like, you know, stitches through the face and tightening it in certain spots that, you know.
Yeah, totally. So it is a big risk, and like I guess I have started doing projects where I've just kind of abandoned it after I started working on the face. Like, oh, this doesn't look good, and I'm not going.
Yeah,
to
no, there are a
able to
couple
make
times,
it look good.
like especially way back when you try and like
Mhm.
figure out like how to make a face or just how to build a realistic face to begin with,
and it just didn't look right
And,
for
yeah,
me,
it would
and I
take-
just would end up abandoning
end
it
up scrapping the idea and
Yeah.
kind of coming back to it, you know, months later.
and just kind of starting all over.
Yeah, with a fresh concept and idea on it.
Right. But like I think I've gotten just a lot better at this kind of lately. So I've been taking a lot of my older dolls and kind of reworking an actual face onto them. So oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let me move that away. So here's what I did to this doll. I haven't finished her yet. She looks a lot more different than she did before, though. She was literally just a blob with two eyes as a face. But
yeah,
I
the
did.
features, like, it's amazing how much that it pulls into.
Yeah, it made a huge
focus.
difference. It made a huge difference, like, to, like, do all of this stitching. Like, I was surprised at how... I was just surprised at how well I was able to get it to look exactly like the picture in my head of what I wanted her to look like.
Right.
So far, obviously, because I haven't finished it yet, but you can see where it's going already, kind of. You can already kind of see, like, her little facial expression starting to come into
Right.
existence.
Yeah, you can start to see just where it, like, wants to lay down.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, just warping the way that the face is shaped using stitching, just changes the character of the face, like, completely, kind
Right,
of.
Totally.
And the thing with this one that was a challenge, with different from a couple of the other faces that I've done, because I have done a couple of other ones, and I'm going to show you one other one in this video. But this particular one, I had a lot of work already done on some of her facial features before I did any of like the sculpting kind of like her like face and brows and nose. Like I had already put her eyebrows and all of her piercings and her ears in place. So like it was kind of risky to try to like rework the shape of her face because I had to
be super careful.
Yeah, I had to like not warp it too much to like destroy any of the work that I already done on it.
Right.
And I think I did a really, really good job. Obviously,
Yeah,
I'm
no.
not finished yet because I still want to add some like work to her eyes. Like I want to give her some eye whites and like probably like eyelids and stuff
but
like that.
The shape came out
And
really nice.
lips.
So. Like I like how the nose looks. You should show a silhouette.
Yeah, I think that like the shape of the face is like kind of night and day from what it was before.
Right.
So, this one, hopefully I will have some more work done on next time that you guys see us, which will be in 2 weeks. And now I have one last doll to show you guys. This is another one that I have showed you guys before that, again, I thought was finished, but I really wanted to rework the face. If you guys have seen my Instagram, I posted a couple of pictures of her, like, in between I posted the before pictures of her kind of earlier today, like before I did any work, and then after I did a little bit of work on her face, and this is where I'm at like now. The picture on Instagram is kind of at the same stage that this doll is in that I just showed you. This one,
where it just
it's
has
kind
a
of
little
like
bit
this
of
face,
features.
but this one is like done a little further. Like I have done a little more work on her eyes, so she has like the eyelids and eye whites done, and I have done her little nose. Here, I'm going to turn the brightness maybe up a little bit, just because her skin tone is a little darker, so make it a little bit easier to see her. I think I did a pretty good job on this one. But I just don't I don't have like the right colors to do her lips right now, so I have not finished yet. Because I think I started this one before I started the other one, and then I kind of had to stop because I didn't have the right colors to continue her. And then that one I started working on in the interim between when I get the colors that I need. But yeah, I think I might come back in with some like other shades of purple and do some more like highlighting on her eyes and then add some pupils. And then obviously she needs some work on her lips as well. And then I also did some work on her body because her body was like I didn't have any stitching done on her body yet, so like all of this was very undetailed. She now has this crease going down the middle of her back, which I love. I love that look.
That adds a lot of detail.
Yeah, it does. It does. It really does add a lot. And then also her chest I shaped a little bit more because it does tend to... Let me show you guys a before of a chest, because here's this one. This is kind of what it looks like before it gets shaped. It's kind of just like... I don't know, it doesn't really look like much. It almost more looks like a sweater or something that someone's wearing over a chest. And then after that, I kind of shaped it so that it has more of like each individual like boob has its own shape.
Right.
So like it just looks more realistic. I guess it's more like a Barbie doll type of aesthetic kind of, and it does look a lot nicer underneath clothing. Yeah, under clothes. Not that it's really gonna matter for this doll because the dress that I made for her isn't really like, it's not exactly form fitting or anything. Let me show you guys that real quick. But I have this flowery... It's a super
cute dress, though.
Yeah, I have this flowery dress for her, and it has these leafy... It's like a leafy bodice and some little leafy... What are those called? Bustles? I can't remember. And this is like a leafy bodice, and then it has like some little jewel leaves on the sides. And those are like straps for around the neck. And it just ties at the back of the neck. Yeah. And it's only at the front. The back, it's just a completely backless dress. But yeah, let me show you guys what that looks like on her real quick. I'll just put that on her. And that's the last WIP that we have this time. So I'll just pop her into her dress and show you guys that real quick. And then we're going to take off. So thanks for showing up, you guys. And we're going to take another week off for next week. So remember that. Yeah. And then we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for the next one. Okay. I think I threw a bunch of the leaves on the inside by accident. It's okay.
The woes of a complicated dress.
What on earth?
See? Exactly.
No, seriously, what did I do? What the heck?
Oh no.
I'm a little bit confused by this, but that's okay. Oh, you know what? I put her through the wrong side of the bodice. That's what happens when you are using crochet and there's too many holes.
I know, right? Which hole is the right one?
Yeah, no, it was the wrong hole. Okay, I found the right one this time. I still have to finish her wings. Like, that's something that I'm kind of excited to do that I just haven't found the time to work on.
Her wings look so good, too.
I know, like, it's just, I just want to do a little bit more, I guess when I first started doing, this was like the first fairy doll that I made, kind of, I think. No, I think it's the second one that I made. The first one is that redheaded one that, like, is also unfinished. Right. But this was the second fairy doll that I ever made. And she looks so good. But her wings, I didn't have, like... I guess I didn't really have any, like, metallics or anything like that to use, so I wasn't able to make them look, like, really, like, butterfly, dragonfly-ish kind of, I guess.
Totally.
So that kind of bothers me. So I kind of want to just add some more extra colors to her wings to make it just more, like, bedazzled, I guess. Yeah. And also, I added some extra panels to her wings, because it did just used to be, like... Here, let me... They keep getting squished, too. That's kind of bothering me.
Right.
It's okay. But yeah, here she is in her dress. She looks pretty cute. one of my favorite dresses that I've made so far. But yeah, I made her wings originally, just the top panel were her wings, and I eventually decided that it needed a bottom piece.
Needed a little
just to like
look a little fuller.
just to fill it out more. So I added a second piece to each wing. I just haven't gotten around to decorating it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like how it looks with like the yellow and the pink like veins kind of look, but I think it would look nice to add like some metallic colors.
Right.
And I would also like to go over like the edge maybe with metallic, just because I don't really like this dull purple.
Mm-hmm.
I would prefer if it was like a bright metallic purple. So I think I'm going to go around the edge again and then add some extra colors to the actual wings. And then obviously I need to do all of the decoration on the lower wings.
Right.
Oh, and also if you are interested in the technique that I use to make my fairy wings, that's also a tutorial that I have done already. So you can check that out as well.
Yeah.
So with that, we've completed our WIP Wednesday.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
Yep.
And really all throughout
all throughout the month of March.
Yeah. Been getting a lot of new subscribers just because of the new content. So if you're new, thank you so much for joining us and coming along, into the community that we're trying to build.
Sure. And thanks so much for like all of your being active in the chat and all of that you, because like the last stream was like really
yeah, I know we
really
stream
good.
Pretty late, so it's not always the best time frame for some people. But
yeah,
if you guys do interact with the chat or leave comments, we really do appreciate it.
Yeah, and also just if you're watching this in the archive after the fact, then like feel free to like leave a comment and all of that, because we're also like very into I'm very into like reading your comments and responding to you guys after the stream has already gone live. So don't be discouraged from it if you missed the stream as well.
Yeah, if you guys are curious about any particular pieces or anything,
for sure.
like just anything like that.
Okay, well, we'll be seeing you guys in 2 weeks for the next stream. Yeah. So we'll be taking a week off, and by then I'll probably have like a decent amount of things to show you guys. So we'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.
Bye.